Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another edition of Wound Care. I am Richard. I have a wound that needs to be bandaged. I have to shower and then clean this wound, and then place a fresh bandage on it to prevent further infection. I had an infection in my hand, the doctor cut it open, and this is the result. This is a wet to dry bandage, which is a technique that's been around since the Civil War. This wet bandage will dry to my skin, and as the nurse said, constitute a miniature operation to remove dead tissue. So today I'm going to talk about America striking Iran. Well, I soaked this wound for 10 minutes. So I have my solution here. Set a timer and go. Alright. Okay. Not quite enough solution. The wound has to be completely submerged, or at least all the wet parts of it. The closer you get to the hand, the more healed it is. Now, I got this infection because I'm a diabetic, so the first thing I'm going to do here is take my blood sugar. And this object you see me working on here is a lancet. Okay? This is the lancet. There's a needle in there that will pierce my flesh in order to draw a drop of blood to test it for blood sugar. Okay? In order to do that, I need a test strip. There. And that goes in my Novamax blood sugar monitor. Alright? Now again, when you're a diabetic, you have to be very careful. So, we alcohol swab the area that is going to get lancetted, or lanced, I guess you would call it. Alright. I have a blood drop here. Hope that's enough. Does not appear to be enough. Well, that's not good. You can never reuse a lancet, unfortunately. But yeah, Israel had Operation Rising Lion, which, to the best of my knowledge, beat the flaming crap out of the nuclear program of Iran. Now, we absolutely know that we don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons because unlike, say, the US and China, Iran intends to use them. On Israel. So Iran enriching uranium, you know, they have no need for power, they have oil. they have no reason to enrich uranium other than... Okay, this timed out. Other than to build a bomb to attack Israel. Okay. This is not good. You're not supposed to use these twice, but I'm going to clean this with alcohol. And I'm going to have to use it twice because it timed out. Sometimes the alcohol can make the blood run. And if that happens... Alright, that's a nice big blood drop. Blood sugar is high. That's not good. It's 183. I'll write that down. Okay. All right. And what you see me dumping this in is my sharps container, which prevents injury. So now I have to take my insulin. But yeah. One thing to understand about this whole situation is Israel cannot hit Iran as hard as the United States. Israel is our scrappy ally, trains with us in the gym, so to speak. We pay for their membership. And they do things like take the heat off us in the Middle East, okay? But the bottom line is, Israel is still a lightweight. Well, they're more of a welterweight. Whereas America, well, they're the heavyweight champion. What I'm doing here is I'm clearing air from the needle before I inject the insulin. Okay. All right. Insulin has to be injected into fat. So one thing we know from this exchange is we absolutely know that Iran is not going to be able to cook up a nuclear missile anytime soon. The bottom line being is we blew up the thing they were using to make nuclear weapons, and that thing having been blown up is no longer a threat to America. Okay? All right. Now, the negative there is, do understand that we have now made ourselves a larger terrorist target for Iranians. And they have more of an incentive to not look weak and attack America. And they can do this in ways by cutting off oil supply to the world, making our lives generally miserable, and other such things. So, yeah, dude. I mean, on the one hand, the question was, were they really a threat? And the answer is probably not. The other hand, are they now a threat? Well, definitely, but not as big of a threat. So Iran is going to do one of two things. One, they're going to escalate the situation, which would be really, really stupid. But then attacking Israel through their proxies is already pretty damn stupid. So it's almost certainly what they're going to do. Or two, they're going to realize they've angered the big boy, and that they need to back their ass up before they get hurt. And let's be clear here, okay? We should feel no animosity towards the people of Iran. The government of Iran is doing something terrible. The people are just people. The same thing should be said towards Russia, towards China, towards any adversary of freedom. What the people want is a measure of freedom, them wanting something. And nobody is saying, no, I want this oppressive regime to make my life miserable. They're all saying, you know, we want to live in peace. We want to be able to feed our families. We want to, you know, live free and do things like, you know, have our hamburgers or our hummus or our, you know, rice and just live, just do our thing. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. I hate this part. So do I feel that the U.S. should have bombed Iran? Honestly, no. I don't. I could be wrong, but it seemed like the situation was already well in hand. But we can't unbomb Iran, so things are the way they are. Hopefully, Iran will come to the bargaining table. We'll come up with a treaty, and they will quiet things down. But only time will tell. I'm Richard.
Background courtesy of Photographs of a Mad Richard. Link in the description.
With the grace and stealth of a ninja, Danger Ducky says you should be hitting that like button. Then leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already, because this channel is awesome and Danger Ducky will find you if you don't.